Tom and Jerry, Paws for a Holiday is a compilation of Tom and Jerry shorts that was released in 2003. And I was really keen to check this out because, well, partly just because I love Tom and Jerry, but also out of curiosity to see which cartoons were in it. And I can confirm that there is a good mix of cartoons. There are only two in it that I don't really care for. But I will say it's not the most festive, it's quite wintry, but there are some cartoons that I think just don't really fit in very well. So I am discussing this as a package as a whole. I have reviewed each cartoon in turn separately, and I will link my individual reviews in the description of this just in case anybody wants to hear my more in depth thoughts. But I will briefly touch upon what I think of each cartoon. But as a package, yeah, I think we have a decent selection, and most of the cartoons I like. Two of them I don't really care for, and it just so happens that those two don't fit in with the theme. They're not wintry, they're not holiday themed. I just don't care for them in this little compilation at all. What I do like about this, though, is that we have a mix of Hanna and Barbera cartoons, and then we have some Chuck Jones, and they do seem to be chronological. I don't know date for date if they're chronological, but we do start with the earlier Hanna Barbera before we progress into the later cartoons. So the structure of it is good, the flow of it is good. It's quite nice to see within a short space of time the subtle changes in the animation style. I think that's really quite fun. So I really appreciate that they had a good mix of different eras. With regards to the cartoons themselves, I will now go through each cartoon and just give some very brief thoughts on, well, whether I like the cartoon and whether I think it belongs in Paws for a Holiday. But as I said, my thoughts won't be too in depth. I'll link my individual reviews in the description. The first one is Mice Follies. This is beautiful. We have Jerry and Tuffy, or he could have been called Nibbles at this point, I can't remember which, but they're ice skating in the house, and Tom is obviously getting very disgruntled, and it's beautiful. It's a really lovely cartoon, very, very well animated. I should also point out I haven't watched back my reviews of these separate cartoons, so if I say anything now that contradicts anything I say in those, then that just means my opinion has changed. I'm going to assume my opinions won't have changed that much, but if I say something now that is the opposite of how I felt then I guess it just means that the cartoon is affecting me differently this time round. But I'm pretty sure I enjoyed Mice Follies last time. We then have Designs on Jerry. Now, this doesn't really fit in. It's not a holiday themed cartoon, but I do love it because Tom is working away, trying out various different designs, and the design comes to life in the shape of a mouse, and it's tremendous fun, and it's beautifully animated. I love the animation for this. It's so fun and so engaging. And yeah, it doesn't fit in with the theme, but honestly, I rather enjoyed having a reason to watch it again. It's a very fun cartoon. The next one also doesn't really fit in, and this is the Tom and Jerry cartoon kit, which is basically what it sounds like. We have this kit that's designed to put this cartoon together. I don't love this one. I appreciate the creativity, and again, it's not holiday themed, but I don't love the fact that we have a lot of kind of solid color backgrounds. I don't find it to be visually very engaging. The color palette is nice, but there's a lack of detail, and I find that that's something that I enjoy, the detail in other cartoons. So for me, it's not my favorite. I don't mind it, but I don't think it belongs in Paws for a Holiday. But then we have Snowbody Loves Me, which is a very wintry, chilly cartoon, and at one point or another, the characters are outdoors and they're freezing cold, and they're both trying to get inside this house, trying to kick the other one out of the house so they can get warm by the fire. And there's a brilliant bit with cheese. The scenes with the cheese I just think are fabulous, so funny, so entertaining. A very chilly cartoon, and Tom is wrapped up in a pink blanket at one point, and it's just the cutest thing ever. So yes, this one definitely fits in here. Really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. And then we have I'm Just Wild About Jerry. I don't care for this one. I think it's generally well animated. We have a lot of outdoor scenes, a lot of backgrounds, a lot of attention to detail, which, as I said, is something that I like. But I feel like it's not the most unique or memorable, and it doesn't fit in with the theme, so I'm not bothered about it. Then we have the Abominable Snowman, which of course has a very holiday theme to it. A lot of snow, a beautiful St. Bernard dog. The narrative, I don't find that appealing, but It's not too bad and it does fit in with the theme, so I can't really complain. And then we end, unfortunately, on one that I don't care for. This is Advance and Be Mechanized. This one's set on a spaceship, and we have this rocket mouse kind of thing, and it is well animated. It's very creative, but I feel like it's not my kind of cartoon. It's not my kind of setup, my kind of location. I'm just not that bothered about it, and it doesn't fit in with the theme either. And I kind of wish we'd ended on, I guess, the Abominable Snowman. If we'd swapped those last two around, it just would have made more sense to end on one that actually fits in with the theme of the film, of the compilation. So that was a little bit of a disappointing note to end on. But other than that, I enjoyed most of it. I liked having an excuse to revisit some of these cartoons, and as I said, it was quite nice to see the changes in animation styles as we went through the cartoons. So if you're a fan of Tom and Jerry, Pose for a Holiday is definitely worth checking out. It's mostly a good selection of cartoons with, well, a decent amount of holiday themed ones. Not as much as I would have liked, but either way, definitely a fun little package of cartoons with only a couple of weaklings, and definitely worth checking out.